Good morning, all. Today I'm going to talk about the assumptions we make. Where do these assumptions come from? And how do these assumptions relate to the type of cultures we form in our organizations? And then, obviously, how that links to the performance of the organization. Now, it's a given, and I've addressed it in some of my earlier talks, that a truly high performance organization is very good at transactional leadership, which is all the stuff we know so well, technologies, performance, profits, costs. And then, of course, the transformational drivers, one of which is how engaged our staff is. And if we look at engagement, one of the key things in engagement is respect. And respect has a lot to do with what I call adult leadership, how we involve people, how we have people think for themselves and own their outputs. Hence, we're all adults, and we have to be very careful in this world to lead through the hierarchy, in which case we then start controlling people, and people that are controlled are generally people that disengage and are not particularly happy. So now we go and we talk briefly about assumptions. Now, just about everything we do every day is based on assumptions. We make assumptions about the road in front of us when we walk. Now, where do these assumptions come from? Now, our assumptions are quite closely related to our egos. And certainly in our earlier lives, as we go through our development cycle, we continually taught things. And these things we learn, we unfortunately then have to try unlearn later in order to become effective leaders. So for example, when we be young babies, we shout and we scream, and hopefully a parent will come and make us comfortable. So immediately we learn that, in fact, it's the world according to us, and when we shout and scream, we get what we want. Needless to say, one or two leaders in this world haven't passed that point of ego, but most then we grow. We go to school, and school teaches us to get good results. We need to look at the detail. We need to take control. So if we want to achieve good school results, we need to take control of everything we do. And those are a lot of our lessons. Our families teach us when we should comply, when we should speak up. If there was someone disabled, a young kid would often laugh and say, and the parent will say, no, we don't make fun of someone that's disabled. And then they'll learn, maybe I should, this is where I need to comply and think about it. So we go through these development cycles. The one stage is known as the reactive stage, where about 96% at least of society is. And the reactive stage is that we need to do things. We need to take control. We need to feel whole. We need to go and analyze things and give our view and so forth. Now, so where do these assumptions come from? Now, when we become leaders of people particularly, we now have to grow to yet another level, where we have to start showing people the way and engaging them so that they can get insights and start asking questions. And the very things we now need as leaders are very, very different to what we've learned. Because, of course, school has told us to achieve, we have to take control. And in fact, if we now take control of those people reporting to us, well, they're not going to like us. So the relationship isn't going to do so well. So if we take control to achieve, in fact, the very people who have to go achieve don't achieve. And then that comes back to us. So a lot about being leaders is learning to grow. It's very, very important for any organization to see that the right talent have developed these skills before we go up to more senior leaders. Now, it's very interesting. Often I find myself with an executive team, and from time to time, I'll have a lot of senior people moaning about a particular culture, and I'll say to them, okay, so tell me, what are the things that drive you mad about this organization's culture? And they'll often say things like, everyone's working in silos, no one's taking accountability, everybody's just waiting for someone else to be told. No one seems to care about their results. No one will go, and if they see something wrong in another department, go and influence them. So then I'll say to them, all right, so these people that are doing these things, what are they? What's in their belief system? And I'll get them thinking, and often they'll come back, well, then they'll say, okay, well, maybe they believe that there's no point in them taking accountability because they won't be acknowledged whether they do good or bad work. Maybe they'll be part doing the work and someone will take it over. And so as we unpack, we start seeing that, in fact, where do these beliefs come from that seem to be causing staff to behave like this? And then I'll turn to the leadership team and I'll say, okay, now you think as deeply as you can and ask yourselves, are you doing anything in the way you lead that is perhaps giving them and driving that belief system for them? And every time I do this exercise, it takes a lot of hard work, but leadership teams always come back and say, oh yes, we're doing it very subtly in the way we lead. Our performance management systems and processes are doing it. And in fact, the whole system is in fact kind of founded on assumptions that are actually treating people like they're kids, not like other adults. So I think this is what I want you to think about today. It's quite important for us, to develop as seniors leaders. We're going to have to go back and really think about the assumptions. And these assumptions are quite deeply embedded in our brains. We don't often see them. But when we start reflecting on our behaviors, we have to then start assuming, maybe I didn't give that person chance to do it because actually maybe I believe they're not capable and I'm more capable. And we become quite surprised about these assumptions. And hence, leadership development is quite key to have people start thinking about themselves and growing and challenging these very assumptions which actually form a lot about who we are. Anyway, that's the talk for today. Hope you have a great week and see you next time.